what skill set will I bring to the PSC position? So the combination of being a business owner, an old-fashioned doctor, and a known advocate for citizens' rights is a great combination for this position. I understand the need for the power suppliers to be able to make a profit so that they can supply our needs. And in my practice, I learned to charge enough money to meet patients' medical needs without pricing low-income patients out of good medical care. That provides me some preparation to make fair utility pricing decisions. So that's that part. In my medical practice and in my grassroots leadership, I'm an advocate for the people. My work and my hobbies, my vocation and various avocations, I'm in touch with the people. The combination of business owner, citizens advocate means I'm in a good position to be fair and judicious in balancing the ledger between supply and demand, consumer and supplier, I should say. And I vow to be an advocate for all Montanans. So that's number one in my skill set. Number two is my capacity for quality research. Much of the PSC job is doing research pertinent to upcoming cases on the docket. I've been studying medical literature for 35 years, and I enjoy it. I know how to analyze statistics. I know how to figure out whether a study is valid or not. I know how to read all the graphs and all that. And like I said, at the end of my day, I always put time into research. During the COVID rollout, I became massively sleep deprived, dedicating myself to research about COVID's myriad aspects, and was able to influence legislation and local politics toward freedom. So I know how to research, I know what the studies mean, and I know how to apply it to solve problems. So number three in my skill set for PSC, I have good relationships with many of the legislators across Montana. I've gone to every legislative session since 2009, helping craft and draft bills, testifying for or against bills, garnishing legislator and public support for good bills. I've spent countless hours listening to deliberations by legislators in committees and on the House and Senate floor. That's another one of my hobbies. This experience in Helena and the development of good and mutually respectful relationships with those legislators is going to be extremely beneficial to this PSC position. And so that kind of leads me to my next topic, which is what I would like to accomplish as soon as possible on the PSC. It's related to the legislators in some ways. So what do I hope to accomplish in short order? Number one, I plan to notify the public when there are relevant issues coming up before the PSC and before legislators, things relevant to water, energy, garbage disposal. I anticipate Zoom meetings, town hall meetings, and other citizen notifications about what's going on the PSC that is pertinent to their lives. This is right up my alley because I've been doing grassroots leadership since 2009, and I enjoy it. And we have seen the impact that citizens' involvement has on the legislator. Those legislators, it would be very tough to do it on your own. Having citizens back them up, especially in controversial areas, not controversial to me, but fighting for liberty, fighting for the babies, when they're doing those kinds of things, they really need citizen backup. And we've seen the difference that individuals and grassroots organizations can make. And so I plan on being in touch with the people. I enjoy it. And so letting them know what's going on in energy, water, and the garbage department. So the second thing that I want to kind of bring to it is I want to see more PSC involvement with the legislators. Legislators make the laws, that's their job, and the public service commissioners apply it. So Montana Code Annotated Title 69, I carry around with me all the time, describes the jurisdiction of the PSC and how it's supposed to operate. But that is not etched in stone. We know that from the 2021 legislative session, that Montana Code Annotated can be modified for the good. So we've seen that before. PSC members, they have access to subject matter experts in all matter of research and other literature, and their focus, unlike the legislators that have to deal with bills of all kinds, the PSC, their focus is limited to these various items. So they are in a great position to have a huge impact on the legislature. And so they can help them draft and craft bills and do other things like that. And just educate the legislators more about those particular topics that we have the expertise on the PSC. So the third thing that I hope to get going in short order, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this, and I'm going to read it because I don't want to add a lot of commentary. I have a tendency to do that. And also there's some quotes in here from the Montana Constitution, and so I'm going to read this to you. So my goal in this particular portion, so this is the third portion of what I'm hoping to accomplish in short order on the PSC. And my goal here is to share with you very specifically my thoughts and ideas about a topic that has deeply troubled me for many, many years. I'd appreciate your consideration and listening carefully. You guys are already listening carefully, you're so sweet. To assure that I keep accurate in content, like I said, I'm going to read it. So I'm not a lawyer or a legal scholar. I've never even run for public office before this campaign, so I'm a little bit nervous sharing my perspective and making these comments in front of you now, especially since some of you in this room are far more knowledgeable than I am about the topic being the water compact. But I've watched and listened to the debates and arguments on this divisive issue, and although I've never before publicly commented on this subject, I do know that as a medical professional, I've learned that sometimes a fresh eyes on a problem can lead to a potential remedy, solution, or improvement in an issue. In other words, I think it's time to think outside the box and put new ideas on the table for consideration. I offer a positive suggestion that may solve a vexing problem. I've discussed my proposal with some government office holders, and each one that I've discussed it with has thought that the proposal is viable, and this includes several Montana senators and House representatives and a standing member of the Public Service Commission who like this proposal. So in developing my proposal, I start by looking at Article 9 of the Montana State Constitution. Article 9, Section 3 is about water rights and states. To quote subsection 3, quote, "All waters within the boundaries of the state are the property of the state for the use of its people and are subject to appropriation for beneficial uses as provided by law," end of quote. Then subsection 4 reads, quote, "The legislature shall provide for the administration, control, and regulation of water rights," end of quote. From that article in the Constitution, I strongly believe it is the duty and obligation of the state of Montana to exercise supervision and oversight over the, quote, Flathead Reservation Water Management Board, end of quote, and their implementation of Senator Daines' bill, Montana Water Rights Protection Act, MREPA. I would further state this supervision and regulation should be for any and all such compacts found in any part of Montana. I would hope that no matter what side of the debate you are on regarding the CSKT Water Compact, any, and I repeat, any person holding water rights would welcome state supervision and oversight over the water compact. And I hereby propose oversight by the Montana Public Service Commission over the so-called autonomous board of the Flathead Reservation Water Management Board that administers the water compact. I believe it's outrageous, absolutely outrageous arrogance that they define themselves as autonomous. And so I'm running for PSC member representing Lewis and Clark, Teton, Lake, and Flathead counties. I realize I would be only one member of the 5-person board, but you have my word that I would battle to find a legal way to implement PSC review by proposing and advocating with legislators and the governor to create any necessary authorization for state PSC review, supervision, and oversight of the policies of the so-called autonomous board. Some check and balance is warranted to protect individual water rights and users from unfair rates, discriminatory takings, and other possible depredations. Again, it doesn't matter where you stood on the water compact. I want to say it again, it doesn't matter where you stood on that compact. I would think all citizens of the state would welcome the protections afforded them under Article 9 of our state constitution, guaranteeing water for the use of its people. And those water rights shouldn't just be for some of the people, right, folks? It's for all the people. And so I'm running for PSC to get things done and to find a way that is fair, just, and protects everyone here locally and everywhere throughout the state. Now, you may wonder why I think the PSC is the right sector of government for oversight of water rights and issues. I have 5 reasons. Number 1, under Title 69 of Montana Code Annotated, it states the Public Service Commission is organized and has authority to regulate. Hence, my proposal complies with the Constitution and Article 9 in specific, as the Montana Code Annotated defines the laws of the state. Second, the PSC currently regulates and oversees water utility districts. And check out the meaning of public utility according to Title 69 3-101. Public utility is defined as, quote, every corporation, both public and private, company, individual, appointed by any court that own, operate, or control any plant or equipment or any water right within the state for the production, delivery, or furnishing, end of quote. Third, the PSC is subject to legislative review and funding. Just recently, there was a hearing in Helena by a state interim committee about water utility issues currently in front of the PSC. Fourth, and very importantly, the PSC staff and the commission itself is familiar with the role of oversight, regulation, and supervision, and consists of people having technical skills, also lawyers, economists, and others having training in this field. And finally, and the 5th reason I believe the PSA is that governing body to take this on, the PSC members are all elected by the people in the state. Hence, there's accountability when you're elected. That is very different from the Water Management Board, whose members are currently all appointed and not elected. Further, at least 2 members of the Flathead Reservation Management Water Board have been appointed by a group, the CSKT, whose membership definition favors one group and excludes 75% of the citizens of the area from membership, excludes 75% from membership in and participation in their tribe. I think it's kind of obvious that is not fair to all the people. So I believe strongly that some state oversight is not only appropriate but required under Article 9 of our state constitution. The state cannot give up its responsibility and authority to protect all citizens of the state. As a PSC member, I will strongly advocate for PSC involvement, and I will work with legislators to get PSC authority over new law to give oversight and protection to all water users. To conclude, I realize the Water Compact has been a divisive issue, and my goal is to provide a positive solution that has the potential to provide fairness and justice to all citizens, whether you were for or against the compact. I'm here to advocate for and protect people on both sides of the debate. I'm here to address the current reality that, like it or not, a Flathead Water Management Board exists. And we need the state to exercise its duty under Article 9 of the Constitution, which again states, and I'm combining Section 3, subsection 2 and 3, the use of all water shall be held to be a public use. All waters within the boundaries of the state are the property of the state for the use of its people and are subject to appropriation for beneficial uses as provided by law, end of quote. I know this is a different approach, but as I said before, sometimes fresh eyes open new options. You may or may not agree with my approach, but at least now you know I am committed to protecting one of our state's greatest resources and treasures, the water of Montana, for all the people's benefit. You're a great audience. Oh my goodness. Thank you. So in closing, God is the foundation of America. Family is the cornerstone. My 5 children and 14 grandchildren are my delight. I am not so much a cookie baking grandma as a freedom fighting grandma. A 5-foot-tall, 100-pound, energetic scrapper, innovative risk taker for righteous causes, and a research hound who will continue to look out for the future of my offspring in years. Thank you so much. You are like the best audience imaginable. Thank you.